This is number 38 on page 334. It uses the adjusted balance method. So we're going to take a look at this one and we're going to follow the procedures. In adjusted balance, the finance charge is based on the adjusted balance. Your book tells you that you start with a balance of $500 and that there is a $50 payment. In this problem, there are no purchases. So in order to adjust your balance, you take the $500 and you subtract your payment. If you had purchases, you would add the purchases. So we have an adjusted balance of $450. The adjusted balance is what you base your finance charge on. So you will take that 20% and divide it by 12 because we're looking at a monthly interest rate, and we have a monthly interest rate of 1.67%. So when we move our decimal over twice, we get 0.0167. And remember, you took 20 and divided it by 12, and that's how you got the 1.67. So we're going to take 450 times 0.0167. That's going to give us the finance charge. Comes out to $7.52 if we round. So this is the finance charge. Your new bill is the $450 adjusted balance plus $7.52, which would be $457.52. So that's how we're doing it using the adjusted balance method. Let's go ahead and do the other methods as well as we go through here. So let's insert a page, and I'm going to put another problem on there. So let's take a look at this one. Pull my pen up here so we can use it. So this one says we're going to use the previous balance method, and this is number 40 on that same page. For previous balance, you take the balance that they give you and you multiply it by the interest to get the finance charge. We've already figured out that a 20% annual interest is 1.67. Now, sometimes your book, instead of going ahead and doing the interest divided by 12, they go ahead and do the year divided by 12. It's going to be the same difference. So this is 1.67%, so this is going to be 0.0167. So 500 times 0.0167 comes out to $8.35. So we're going to add the $500 to the $8.35. Because that's your finance charge. And you're also going to take a payment. Now, the way this is different, if you notice, let's go back up here and look real quick. Adjusted balance, you multiply the balance by your interest after you have taken the payment off. So we did the 450 times 0.0167. In previous balance, we take the original balance without calculating the payment first and multiply it by the interest to get the finance charge. The payment comes after we've already gotten the finance charge. So this is our new balance. So that's the difference in the two. This is where they're different. Adjusted balance, you make your adjustments first, then deal with interest. Previous balance, you deal with interest, then make the adjustments. So that's how they're different. So here's what we see on number 42. We see that we have a $500 balance, 20% APR, annual interest, $400 payment. The month is 30 days long, 10 days for a payment to be received. So we start out with a balance of $500. And it says that we have a payment of $400. We don't have any purchases, nothing like that. But it says it takes 10 days for that payment to be received. So our balance stays $500 for 10 days, and then we have a payment. Now, if our month is 30 days long and those are the only two transactions that we have, then in order to add up to 30, we would need 20 more days. Remember, it's got to add up to the days in the month. So if this one tells us that our payment is received 10 days later, it means that our original balance stayed the same for 10 days. Then we add a payment. And if the month has 30 days in it, that means that that next thing that happened stayed that way for 20 days. So this one is 500 times 10. So 500 times 10 is 5,000. We had a payment of $400. So when that payment was made, we now have a balance of 100. 100 times 20 is 2,000. So 5,000 plus 2,000 is 7,000. And 7,000 divided by 30 comes out to $233.33. That is the average daily balance. So this is what our finance charge will be based on. So we will take the average daily balance, multiply it by the interest that they give us. Remember that 20% annual is 1.67% monthly. So we take 233.33 times 0.0167, and we get a finance charge of $3.90 if I round. Now, you go back to your last balance that you had. We started out with 500. We made a payment. This is the last balance that I had. That's what the finance charge gets added to. So my new balance is $103.90. And that's how average daily balance works. If you had had purchases, you would add those in here too. With payments, you subtract them.